Hello, my name is Miranda Milan. I'm a PhD student at UC Santa Cruz in Ingrid Parker's lab. Today I'm going to tell you about my upcoming research on how Dittrichia graveolens responds to plant-plant interactions in a grassland setting. Biological invasion occurs when an exotic species thrives and spreads in a new region. Invasions often impose consequences on native species, resulting in novel species interactions. Here is a well-known example of purple loosestrife invading North America, where it displaces native vegetation, disrupting critical habitat for wildlife. We are working with Dittrichia graveolens, or stinkwort, which is an annual plant in the Asteraceae family native to the Mediterranean basin. In 1984, Dittrichia was identified in Santa Clara County, and it has since spread throughout California. In both its native and invaded range, it grows in disturbed soils, often along roadsides. It is a late-flowering plant producing seeds that are wind-dispersed. More recently, Dittrichia has been observed dispersing away from roads and into more established vegetation, representing a common pattern for invasive plants. Given the recent dispersal of Dittrichia to off-road sites, we wanted to know how biotic resistance, as well as disturbance, affected Dittrichia's ability to invade new areas. However, before exploring this question, we first needed to know more about the types of off-road communities where Dittrichia was growing. This past summer, we conducted a plant survey in Santa Clara County comparing roadside and off-road Dittrichia populations to better understand the plant-plant interactions. We found that Dittrichia were not only associated with disturbed environments, but also found where bare ground was minimal. We also saw that Dittrichia associates more with bare ground and other weedy Asteraceae species, but appears to be less associated with invasive Avena and Bromus species, which may indicate that grasslands are less likely to be invaded. Our preliminary data are correlational, so next we will conduct an experiment where disturbance and biodiversity are manipulated to better assess Dittrichia's ability to compete with established vegetation. We are interested in how Dittrichia responds to interspecific competition and whether populations found growing in off-road vegetation stands are better adapted to invading grasslands compared to those populations found along roadsides. We are currently establishing a field site at Blue Oak Ranch Reserve in Santa Clara County. The competition experiment will have 4 treatments: a grassland control, and 3 levels of disturbance to provide different degrees of competition. We are seeking feedback from anyone that has experience setting up a grassland experiment. Any lessons learned about building fences or mowing treatments, please let me know. We are also interested in whether a functionally similar native species can provide biotic resistance, limiting the ability of Dittrichia to invade a grassland. In a previous study conducted at Stanford University's Jasper Ridge Biological Preserve, Hemizonia congesta subspecies lazuli was found to limit the ability of yellow star thistle to invade grasslands. Hemizonia is functionally similar to Dittrichia and has similar phenology and fills a similar role in the ecosystem. We are using this model to assess whether Hemizonia can provide a similar service to grasslands when Dittrichia is present. An additional treatment will be applied to undisturbed plots, adding locally sourced Hemizonia. So, we want to know if off-road populations evolve greater competitive ability. Therefore, in our experiment, Dittrichia seeds will be sourced from both roadside and off-road populations to compare competitive ability between roadside and off-road seed sources. Once the plots are established, we will take growth measurements and then harvest above-ground biomass before Dittrichia flower. We predict that with increasing intensity of disturbance, Dittrichia will benefit. We also predict that Dittrichia sourced from off-road populations will show evolution of competitive ability. My co-authors and I would like to acknowledge those that assisted in the collection and production of this research, our collaborators and our funders, the USDA NIFA program, the Department of Ecology and Evolutionary Biology at UC Santa Cruz, and Camino, the Center to Advance Mentored Inquiry-Based Opportunities. Any feedback and experience in setting up a grassland experiment is appreciated. Thank you very much.